Good morning. This is the Thursday edition of TVC Breakfast, and we thank you very much for joining us on the program this morning. I am Kemi Fola Adeyemo with Theophilus Elama. Good morning.
Good
and
morning.
How do you do?
I'm doing well.
So
Good
in
morning.
a few hours from now, we spill into or we begin the new month, I like to say,
Yes.
and compliment of the season. I hope I am in order.
Yes, you're in order, because I remember this year when we got into Happy New Year, it seemed
And
like
here we are.
December will be far.
Absolutely.
But now we're in December.
It seemed far though
It seemed
at a
far
point,
at the
but
point,
suddenly
yes.
it's upon us. Christmas, the New Year, and every other expectation is upon us, and we sure hope and wish you a very great day. On the program this morning, there is a lot before us. It was a busy Wednesday in Abuja talking
Yes.
about the budget presentation by the president, and today our plate is full talking about what we have to offer you this morning. All right, let's begin with this quick banter. It's a sign of relief for many Nigerians as the Supreme Court has, in its latest ruling on the validity of the old Naira notes, extended its use until further notice. Well, the court says the old Naira notes will continue to coexist with the new notes as legal tender. Well, the Supreme Court reviewed its earlier order when it said at the time that the old notes should cease to be legal tender by the last day of December 2023. And this decision was delivered in October last year. The CBN, or in October last year, the CBN began the currency swap policy that caused severe hardship for many Nigerians who couldn't access their monies or even spread it despite having monies in the bank. And that policy, which took effect from late 2022 until earlier this year, greatly affected businesses and people's daily lives. And we've been on this issue for a while now. When the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, a senior advocate of Nigeria, had hinted that an application had been filed to the Supreme Court that initially handed down that order, saying that the old Naira notes should continue to be in effect till the end of the year. But we know a lot has happened since then. The helmsman at the time, Godwin Emefiele, is of course no more the central bank chief now, and a new person has come in the person of Cardoso. So a lot has happened, as I have said, and to also give boost to what the Supreme Court has now said now, saying that there is now no more date as to when the old Naira notes will cease to be legal tender. Well, the CBN has also released a statement in that effect, more or less corroborating or aligning itself with the latest position of the Supreme Court.
Well, it's a good development, actually, because Nigerians will not easily forget what they went through. I mean, everybody went through it, Kemi. You have money in your account, but you cannot get access to it anywhere, at any time. You cannot get into the bank because of the queue. You cannot use an ATM. There's little money there. Even the POS agents were not having cash, and even if you get cash, for maybe I think for about 100, for every 100,000, you're paying about 20,000 naira to get 100,000. It was really a dire situation, and a bad one at that, because many Nigerians were really, really angry, and of course many felt it was
deliberate.
It was deliberate, maybe because of the elections and to curb election spendings of political parties. But as it is, it really hits a lot of people. Many businesses actually collapsed because of that, because you need money to run some of these businesses. And some people really went hungry because some work and get daily pay. And so if you're working and you cannot get daily cash because of cash crunch or because of the situation, then it smacks of some form of ignorance on the part of the CBN, because it's easier to sit on your high horse and make decisions for Nigerians without trying to understand what many are going through there. Good. Many people had to go and open bank accounts because of transfers and all of that. But the number of people that open bank accounts compared to the number of people who do not have bank accounts are totally at variance. So Nigerians really suffered because of that, like I said earlier, a lot of small businesses crumbled. A lot of small businesses crumbled because in this country, many people have online businesses. And so if you want to do business, rather than pay before delivery, a lot of people prefer to pay on delivery. Let them see their goods and all of that. But in those kind of situations, many people couldn't even restock their shops and the like. So it became a very dire situation that was very dangerous. Nobody could hold cash. And sometimes the transfer was a problem at a point because many banks were not even ready for this change. It was like a total change.
And the bank suddenly became scenes of nasty fights and all that. I remember the helplessness of many bank staff, many bank tellers now who were like, we were basically cashless, and then people were looking at them and so why are you here? And it was such a nasty scene. And while we talk about those of us who are banked, there was also the worry of the unbanked, people who didn't even have that cash with them. They don't have bank accounts. They are not the regular bank customers and all that. It indeed was a very, very sordid period for many Nigerians. We also had to go to interesting lengths. We had to go to areas that we hadn't touched before just to get cash. Unlikely sources where, of course, at a discount, not a discount, I should say,
it was a huge amount.
You had to pay extra, to spend your money. It's really, and of course, we also saw how, the online portals were also messing up at the time because of the undue pressure on, the alternative modes of payments. And all that. There's some people whose monies have still been trapped, failed transfers.
Funny thing is that you get that kind of message of failed transactions or network issues, and your money is gone already. The other party hasn't seen
it. It tells you successful, but then you may even have to do it twice or even more than that.
I remember going to the market during that period, and it was, we had to withdraw some certain amount. Then we said, okay, we're going to transfer when it comes to buying some certain things, and it was increasingly hard at a point. Because you get to the market, these are marketmen and women who just want to get their cash and move on with their lives, but you are telling them you have to transfer. And it's a dire situation. It was a serious situation for many people. You go to the market, you want to buy, for instance, gari or rice, and you say you want to transfer. And they've packed everything for you, and they're looking at you, okay, how far? Let's have this transfer.
Expecting their cash. And many people will agree to transfer and wait to see the alerts. Alert that might come at night. It was a huge problem, but we're grateful for the intervention. Absolutely. Somehow Nigerians, survived. Of course, we had some very, very, worrying tragedies there. There were reports of people, dying on account, and that has also, perhaps been the reason why some people still believe that more still needs to be done in terms of accountability. We shouldn't just move on. Monies were spent in bringing out this new notes. That they told us at the time that there was sufficient new notes. They told us at the time that the old notes had been destroyed. So we should have some answers. We should get some closure. We perhaps are yet to get that closure, even though, of course, it was a given. You could also say that it was a given because the new administration had come on ground, and the Tinubu administration had already said, given the body language as to where it stood in this controversy. So the Supreme Court, naturally, with the application by the federal government, just had to, grant the prayers of the federal government. But the CBN has also spoken, saying, everyone carry on spending your monies responsibly, and of course, still using the online portals. We'll rest our conversation for now.